Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel, Backyard Garage. So, today we are going to be making a hot rod wagon. I was tasked with gifts for my daughter's first birthday, so I wanted to make her a wagon, and I decided to make a hot rod wagon for her. So, let's get started. Alrighty, what you see here is just your basic good old radio fire wagon. I'm going to be taking this and putting a twist on it. I have got some different tires here that I would like to put on instead of the old ones. I got some thicker ones, kind of like hot rod. And then another thing that I got here is a exhaust that we're going to be putting on the wagon. And then also some paint. And I'm going to be stripping this down and painting it another color and just doing some modifications. So I guess the first thing that we need to do is we need to disassemble this. So let's get started on that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I wanna put the exhaust on. So I'm gonna kind of keep the wheels and the tires right where they were before. And I just kind of wanna figure out exactly where I want this exhaust to mount onto here. So I'm gonna mock up about, I want the axle to come across right where it was. So I'm gonna take this exhaust here and make sure that we have room for clearance. And just kind of look and see if it would look good where I'm putting this. There we go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mark one hole. And then from that hole, I'll measure it down from the front of the wagon. And it's at about 11.5 inches down. Next is what I'm gonna do is I need to drill out those holes that I just made. Let me move you in a little bit. I'll zoom you in. See my two marks, one there, one over there. And I just gotta drill through those, so let me get set up. Okay, so now that those are drilled, I'm just gonna take some 1/4-20 screws and get the exhaust mounted. Okay, so now that I have this exhaust mounted in the front, I can actually take this and put it in and out kind of where I want it to be. So it's looking about right there is good. So I'm gonna put it right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark my hole. And then I'll just go around on the other side and do the same thing here. Okay, and there we go. as you can see, I have the exhaust mounted. It's looking good to me. That's where I want it. So the next thing, let me flip this over and we'll kind of get a rough idea of what she's gonna look like. Okay, so here's what she will look like. It's gonna be raised up, obviously that's not gonna be on the ground. It's gonna be, you know, center with that. But just kind of an idea of how it's gonna look. I still gotta build the frame, which we're gonna do next. So give me just a moment and we'll get to measuring for that. Okay, so the next thing that I did is I went ahead and removed the exhaust and put it away so I don't get it all scraped up and damaged. The next thing I gotta do here is I gotta determine where I want these front tires so they're not gonna be hitting on the wagon when I'm rolling with it. So let me drop it down so you can kind of see. So right there actually looks like a good spot for them. It's not too close, it should be able to clear everything. And then we can get plenty of clearance when we turn. So, and then they'll actually be out more, so we'll have plenty of clearance. So, is what I'm gonna do is, make sure that's where I want it. I'm gonna measure from the back of the wagon here, which is right here where the rear axle is gonna be. I'm gonna measure from there to there, which will give me the length that I need for my steel that I'm gonna be cutting. And this doesn't have to be perfect, it's just gotta be close. So I'm coming in right around 33 inches, so that's perfect. So let me go cut my steel and I'll be right back. So the next measurement that I'm wanting to do is going to be the axle. And in order to do that, flip this around. I'm gonna measure the width of the wagon, which is 15.5 here. And then I'm just gonna add another inch or so. So I'll cut it about 16.5 for this next piece. So let me get that cut. Okay, so on the wagon here, these ribs are actually 9.25 inches wide from the end of this one to the end of that one. So this is where I want that channel to set. So I gotta make that 9.75. So is what I did is I got this all set up and I took this piece that I measured for the back, the rear axle, and is what I did is I divided it in two. Then I took that measurement, which was 8.5, because I actually went to 17 inches on this instead of 16.5. So this is 17 inches long. So 8.5 is the half, and then half of 9.25 is 4 5/8. So I just added 4 5/8 to each side. But anyway, this is where I got it. It's good to go. This is where I want it. So is what I did is I have it all hooked up and ready to get welded on. So give me a sec, let me set up and let me get it welded or tacked in. Okay, I got my welds all cleaned up. Here we go. They are not pretty, that is for sure. There they are. They're super fat, but they'll do the job. So there we go. I'm gonna get this ground down and I will get the other one put back on and I'll be back after that. Alrighty, here we go. So I actually ended up having to weld this cross piece in here just because the metal wasn't 100% parallel. So I had to tweak it just a little bit, but here it is. I got my welds ground down here. Let me see, there we go. Like I said, they're not pretty, but they are definitely strong. So yeah, so there we go. So the next thing that I gotta do is I gotta put the wagon on there and get it all lined up. And then I gotta start marking some holes to get some holes drilled to be able to mount this on the bottom of the wagon. Okay, so like I said, I got the wagon on here. So Just gonna go ahead and glue this. I have it good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna clamp this down and just take my Sharpie here and then put a couple holes here, because right here is where it's gonna attach to the wagon. And then they'll also attach here, 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 and here. So I could just go ahead and mark all those holes where the exhaust is, and then back here, just so everything's marked. So let me get to clamping and marking. Okay, so now we can go ahead and mark these. There we go. Now I'm going to take these clamps off. And then if you look, put this closer, these are the holes, they're good there. And then those, they're good here, and then here, and then it's good to go. So let me get this up in my drill press, and we'll get these holes drilled out. All right, so the next thing that I actually did, and I didn't really show it very well, is I took these 5/8 inch bolts, I cut the head off, and it fits perfectly inside this tube. It is a little loose, that's okay though, but it's tight up and down, so I can actually weld those in, and they'll be good to go. This one, it's still super hot, it's still smoking, but yep, so that's the next step here. So let me kind of slap this on. Okay, so this is just kind of a brief look of what it's looking like right now. I can't really complain. I do like it. The height is pretty good. I thought it was gonna be a lot lower, but that's perfect. I thought I was gonna have to raise it up somehow and then figure that out, but nope, it doesn't look like I will. So the next thing that I gotta do now is I gotta start building the front here. So let me start measuring, and then I'm gonna cut the piece that goes across the front. Alrighty, so the next thing that I did is I actually cut this piece down here to fit across there, like that. And the reason is because I need something to bolt these on, which are gonna be for the, for the front steering. So let me get that welded up, and I'll be right back. All right, the next thing that I actually did is I put the wagon, and I put the back tires on and the wagon on, and I bolted it down. And then I put this up here, made sure it was level, which it is. Now the frame's good to go. So then I can take these front arms here that come with the wagon, and I can get these bolted or welded on, and I can put these exactly where I need them, and then have it nice, exactly where I need them, and then have it nice and welded on, and then these will be good to go. So let me get to welding. Alrighty, well, these welds are not impressive at all. I ground that one down a little bit because it was really ugly. And I got this one done. It looks pretty good. Hit a couple welds there on the sides. But most of this, it's going to be covered anyway. But yeah, there we go. Let me go ahead and get the front tires on and I'll show you what she's looking like. Alrighty. I had to go ahead and throw on the exhaust here just because it's pretty sweet. But this is what she's looking like. I'm actually really excited. This thing's coming together really easily. It's a super fun build so far. Yeah, the next thing that I need to do is I need to figure out the steering here. I do have a turntable here is what it's called. Let me open these up and show you what they look like. They look like these. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to mount this. So when I turn the handle, because I'm going to be using this old handle here, I just got to figure out how it's going to work. I know I'm going to have a rod going off back here, and then when it turns, it's going to turn the wheels. But yeah, so I just have to kind of think of that for a little bit here. But yeah, this is what she's looking like right now. I'm going to do some brainstorming here, and then when I'm done, I'll be back. Well, everybody, that's actually a wrap for this video. I will be doing the steering and then stripping the wagon and getting it painted on the next episode. So stay tuned for episode number 2. Hit that bell notification down below and the subscribe button so you can see the next video coming out and see how it turns out. I got to go get washed up. As you can see, I'm kind of dirty. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, drop them down below, and we'll see y'all next time. Later.